it's going to be tough. Yeah, first, before I say anything to the game, I just hope AJ Marcucci is okay, and Indy. I'm not taking any questions to that, but yeah, we just hope they're in the best shape possible. Yeah, good. Like I said, tight game. I thought we were a little sloppy in certain moments, and especially at the end of the game. And now it's 2 games in 2 where we get beat on a cross and sort of a play down the sides of the field. So things to tighten up, and we learn from these lessons. But yeah, we brought Milan and in for a reason, and you can see the quality he possesses, whether he plays in the 10 or whether he shifts up a slot into the 9. So yeah, the energy in this team's awesome. The togetherness is great. I think you can just see exactly the way the team digs deep and rallies through tough moments after a 2-hour delay. So we're ecstatic to be in the next round and another trip to Nashville.
The players, as you said, have all the intangibles and showed it again tonight, but I'm curious how you manage that game down the stretch with extra time potentially. I mean, do you do it differently than you do a league game? How do you?
We had to delay a little bit, yeah. You could see that subs were brought on a little bit later, and then there's a complexion to the game, and we don't want to panic and chase the game. We knew we have quality on the field, and we enjoy what we're seeing, and we are so close on so many half moments that don't go in the shots column or anything like that, but we get into the box numerous times and just can't get the final play right. And then when we did, you can see we go up one way, work it to the weak side with Milan, and an awesome team goal. And I think we've seen a couple sequences, even in the first half, like short, sharp, crisp passing through the midfields and getting into the final third without getting that shot off. So again, we're still 20 whatever match days in, and now in a semi-final of a cup, and the progress this team's made is incredible.
Just for procedural things to make sure we get it right and what we write about tonight. When did you get granted the concussion substance? We were upstairs doing the math, trying to figure out who was going to come in, and then they both came in.
Yeah. So we cleared that up. And obviously it's a medical issue, and we waited for the medical sign-off until we could make that concussion sub.
So it was during the second half. It was not at halftime. You got told you had.
No, it was. Yeah, we had our doctors look at Indy and Vasilev, and we initiated the concussion substitution.
The two subs, specifically Milan and then Nate. I understand why both come on, but to affect the game in the way they did, Milan obviously scoring and playing that deeper line role at the start, but then Nate to get up there and affect that cross. And I don't know if you got a touch on it, but to see the effectiveness of those subs.
We had a tactical shift. We wanted to, with Nate on the field, who's slightly less as attacking, but very dangerous on set pieces, and that's one of the ways to unlock them as well. We were going to build up slightly in a different way, which I don't know if we scored the goal when Frankie was still in or when Nate was in. I'm not sure. The Milan won the 2-2, so I'm not sure which, but Frankie was off, so we had to build in a slightly different way. We just changed it slightly, just to keep Nate a little more shallow, to get Kai a little bit wider and open up the pockets there for Milan in the half space. So it worked well. I mean, it worked well. And then when we scored the goal, we went straight back to our usual shape. Yeah.
A few games now on this side of the rivalry. What's it like seeing it from a different perspective and being on?
It's relaxed and tense at the same time. I have a great relationship with Sandro and everybody in the club. So it feels good, obviously, to get through to the next round and get the 3 points in the first game. But again, it's nothing more than that. And you try and put the relationships aside for a couple of minutes here. And thank goodness they were in only 90 minutes solved.
In terms of Owethu, I take it he can maybe do a little bit better in the challenge on that first goal, but what's it like him bouncing back to have the game that he does? And
I need to look at the play, sorry. I need to look at the play again.
Especially on the goal. I think maybe a lot of defenders there would just kind of blast it. It seemed like he had some poise on the ball there to kind of pick his spot.
Yeah, don't give him so much credit. He hit it into the ground and bounced over Stroud. No, he's great. I mean, you can see he's technical. He's a technical center back, and sometimes we sit on the edge of our seats because he's brave, and we love that about Owethu. So, and even in that moment, he sees exactly that corner, and Stroud tries to recover on the goal line, and Nate does a good job coming back in play because he could have been offside, so he comes back in the game. So yeah, we've learned a lot over the last week with set pieces and VAR and stuff like that. So we've spoken a little bit about it, and hopefully those little lessons are bearing fruit now.
How do you play this team again in however few hours it's going to be?
Yeah, we have to check now and do inventory who can and what's going on. So yeah, we have a bunch of guys that didn't make the roster. We'll get them on a training session tomorrow. Everyone dug deep here. Everyone played a role. We'll get some of those guys who played limited minutes in on a training session as well. And then it's just about recovery. And then we'll see Friday before we head out to New York. See who's available.
With Cavan specifically, he'll have the legs in him. The fractious nature of this game, as it often is, both with the fouls and the styles, the way the teams play. How much do you take stuff like that into account in deciding how much playing time to give him, or is it just what he's got in his legs to skill to have?
Yeah, I don't think that conversation is just open to a Cavan. I think it's open to everybody. We've got young guys on the roster, and we're treated just like that. So I don't. Yeah, Cavan can handle and ride the challenges. He can step up to it. Yeah, I think once the press box is finished, you can come watch trainings more and see.
We'll do tomorrow. We'll go back and have a joke.
How much can you take away from the way that this game plays out? Obviously, these are two aggressive teams, and you've played games like this before, but I wonder how much of this is the one-off nature, the delay, all those kinds of things. How much of what happens tonight is applicable for Saturday as opposed to how much is just the intensity of a one-off game?
Well, I think there's many factors that go into this game on Saturday. I think everyone agrees that it's a tough field to play on right now. So we just have to come up with the right game plan and the right strategy to mitigate some of those issues and make sure that the personnel's available for that game plan.
You hinted at you talked about the emotional side of things after Saturday night. Looked like that obviously wasn't an issue tonight. It seemed like once a down happened and up was right after that. How much of learning from Saturday and the emotional side of that was part of the coming back from those two deficits?
No, I don't think that played too much into it. Yeah, I just thought that we were in control of many of the actions tonight. They just didn't come off for us in the final third. So, but what I like about my team is that we don't give up and we continue to try. And even in the first half, Frankie tries to make a few plays that don't come off, and then all of a sudden he works his way back into the game, and then we are able to progress the ball through Quinn and Indy. Unfortunately Indy comes off, and then Milan found some awesome spots between the lines, and even for being new to a pressing team, he turned over the ball a bunch as well. So credit to the staff for investing that sort of educational piece off the field and showing video and going through game model stuff, and he knows exactly in the 10 or the 9 what he should be doing.
All right, thanks, Bradley.
All right, appreciate it.
You guys could let Bradley go first.
Thank you.